Well, where do we begin? In a week where Noel and Liam's Oasis was supposed to be the biggest thing to have happened this year in terms of comebacks, AFC Bournemouth go and top it. And by the way, the women's team did it as well by winning 2-1 at Moneyfields. But we travelled to Merseyside on Saturday in a fixture where we've never left Goodison Park happy. So with this being the last time, could we put right the previous wrongs? Well, we could. And how? After 86 minutes or so, we looked absolutely dreadful. But for the remaining, 9 or 10, we were superb. And in this video or podcast, depending on how you're consuming it, we need to talk about it. My name's Sam Davis.
My name's Tom Jordan.
And we've got...
It's not Tiggs. He's got it more attractive. It's Steve Hensman.
Well played.
Steve Hensman here, who you've seen from the vlogs, also Cherries Red Army, a frequent contributor on there. Steve, I'll come to you first. Are you over it? Because I'm not. I've been watching every single...
The fact that I didn't get an Oasis ticket? No,
Yeah.
I'm more of a Blur fan, and that's what it was yesterday, wasn't it?
Good.
Bit of a blur by the end of it all. No, mate, how are you feeling? Because
I say this all the time, like, when I was next to Steve, when I said to Steve, obviously he's here now, so I could say, when we were sat together, on about 85 minutes, we were just going, I can't believe how bad it is.
Worst we've seen us.
Yeah, and I would say the only game that comes close under Andoni was, ironically, Goodison last season. But it felt more like kind of that period when we were already safe under O'Neill, and then it was kind of like, we're safe.
Yeah.
Because we'll get into it, but every 50-50, we were just off. We were bullied all over the pitch. And Andoni himself said it, didn't he? It's mad how football works, mate.
What do you reckon it is about Goodison Park that just makes us play really bad?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's so strange.
Yeah, because it is, don't get me wrong, it's like we said before, it's obviously a historic and a big stadium, and, but it's not like, they're all right, but it's not like
I just think there's some sort of stadiums and teams that just have that over you.
Yeah, Forest.
Just for no apparent reason, it's just a nightmare every time.
One thing I would say, though, is when we were chatting at half-time, we knew that we were bad, but they weren't great either. I think we're maybe thinking that they were good throughout the whole game. They weren't. It was just a spell in the second half where I thought they absolutely dominated us. But really, the first half was a poor watch. I mean, for the neutral, probably one of the worst halves of football to watch in the Premier League. The second half, one of the best in terms of entertainment values.
Yeah, no, it was. And I think I said on the vlog to you at half time that I just can't imagine us being any worse in the second half. So I'm quite relieved that it's still nil.
You got that wrong as well.
Yeah, if you had said to me, we're going to be worse in the second half, but we're also going to be our first match of the day and win it, I just would have thought, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Because we were so bad in the first half. But as you say, Everton, I just thought, at half time anyway, I thought, I'm glad we played this badly against them because they're not punishing us because they're not good enough. Fair play to them, they come out in the second half and really did. And he obviously said to them, Bournemouth are ready to be had. And then for whatever reason, I had a lot of Everton fans on kind of podcasts and on radio stations and stuff say, as soon as that goal went in, they smelt it. Even Dyche said that himself, didn't he?
Said it on his interview, yeah.
I thought it was a little bit too late when we scored. I get, now in hindsight, I go, yeah, it was coming because they were all but I felt like the Semenyo goal was just too late.
You didn't celebrate.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. We didn't celebrate.
No.
It was very muted. Well, there was a little bit of well done, boys. It was a bit too late. We've only got 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But then, what happened next was incredible.
Absolutely superb. And by the way, it's not Semenyo. Apparently, it's Semenya. Oh, yeah. Have you heard? On the World Feed commentary. And like this, so at the start of the season, you've probably seen the AFC Bournemouth one. They purposefully make a video where every player is saying their name like really slow. Antoine Semenyo. Sorry, can you say it a bit slower, Antoine? Antoine Semenyo. Yeah, he still calls, and his co-coms calls him Semenya.
What we should do is maybe sing a song that has his name in it quite loudly, and then they might.
Yeah, the rhymes with,
Yeah, exactly.
Quite a catchy one.
Yeah, quite. And you actually heard that on the feed, didn't you, at the end of the game? I don't know if you saw one of them where the players clapping you hear us singing that, but
nearly as bad as Willow's.
I was just about to say Willow's. Stanislaus.
The one that annoys me is Tavernier.
Tavernier.
Because Marcus Tavernier said a lot is Tavernier. I think we still say Tavernier, don't they? But but it doesn't surprise me, mate. It's Bournemouth. It's only little Bournemouth.
But Tom, what is that?
I'm beating Bournemouth, by the way.
What's that Opta stat that you pulled out the bag? Well, you didn't. You just had saw it on Twitter.
Yeah. That's the first time in Premier League history that a team's leading 2-0 after 87 minutes and loses.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think about it now, going, actually, why would that have happened? I mean, it is crazy. I mean, 87 minutes, game's done. I honestly can't believe we've got 3 goals in there. Considering all the last games we played well and gone, we just can't score. We scored 3 in that time. It's just football, isn't it?
Steve, we've shared some great away days. So, Spurs, Man United, and now this one. Where does this one rank? Because
we were having this took ages to discuss last night. So, yeah, I still think, for me, Spurs was better because we were constantly competing in the game and we were decent.
Yeah.
We were dog yesterday for 85 minutes and it was horrendous. It was. I said to you at one point, it's the worst day of my life, worst afternoon football I've ever spent. I'd just driven 4.5 hours to watch that rubbish.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you have you go from the ultimate low to the ultimate high in the space of 15 minutes. And it was mental. And you never replicate that. No. But for a whole 90 minutes, I think the Spurs one was better.
Yeah. Because it had little roller coaster.
It went one way the other way, and you never know, and we came out on top in the end.
I probably just agree. I think also on top of that was the fact that if you remember where we were when we were at Tottenham, and we were kind of in a relegation scrap.
Better opposition.
Yeah, and we were looking at the games we had left and going, Tottenham's a bit of a free hit. And it was like, oh my God, we just put winner stake. You know what I mean? It really felt like that. So I think it's context behind it. I think the Man U one was a weird one because it never feels like it did yesterday because you've won the game.
We were in control the whole of that game.
So it's kind of like, you're just like, it's more, you were saying it, well, it's more that, a bit like Man U had against Liverpool. It's like, you're just having a laugh.
And I suppose we weren't expected to win the match against Spurs.
No.
But we were against Everton. So therefore, when you have got 3 points, I know it's done in really dramatic fashion, but really, that's what we all expected anyway. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's nice that, looking at the first 3 games.
Yeah, they started.
Yeah, I was actually gutted with the fact we didn't win either of them first 2. And then we played badly and obviously won. But I think if you looked at it before and gone, we get 5 points, you don't know what performance is going to be like. You would have taken that. It's pretty good, isn't it? I mean, you've kept up that unbeaten record at the City ground.
Yeah.
You've managed to stop Newcastle, who are a good side, who are, they're on 7th. We're the only team they haven't beat, by the way. And you go to Everton and get the job done. So I think...
It's just ironic the way it happened, isn't it?
Yeah.
Played better in the other 2 games, awful in this game, and we get the points.
I think probably, without knowing off the top of my head, on kind of bookies and odds and stuff, they would have gone, Bournemouth Forest probably a draw, Newcastle might have too much for Bournemouth, and Bournemouth should have too much for Everton. So we're kind of where we should be, just in a weird... kind of the way it's worked is bizarre.
But you did say that you probably preferred the Spurs win over the one at the weekend. So are you saying that O'Neill ball is better than Iraola? Because there was a lad on Twitter. Did you see that a tweet from some lad that was saying that Gary O'Neill, had he had more time, would be playing as fluidly as Iraola is now. Not sure I agree with that.
You've got the league table up on your laptop. Can you just show me where Wolves are?
Was it that? Did O'Neill get 2 of the improbable comebacks then?
No, last season was Iraola, Nottingham Forest. He just got the and Luton.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, it was Luton, wasn't it?
Yeah, Luton.
I was thinking it was Spurs. It's Luton, wasn't it?
Yeah, Luton. So listen, we don't need to go over that bloody story again. But they're on 1 point for a reason, by the way. Wolves, and I think they've won 1 in 15. So I don't know how he's kind of worked that one out. But listen, I think that's the worst I've seen us. But because of the coach we've got, which we'll get into with the subs and different bits and bobs, even at that point, the worst we've played, 2-0 down away from home, literally not a shot on target till 82nd minute.
Yeah.
You're still in it because of that coach, in my opinion. That's my obviously players, but that's what it's down to, because it's just, we've been talking about it a little bit, it's just throw course to the win.
It's hard to see it, isn't it? When you're in the moment, you just think, they're all crap and blah, the rest of it. And you're like, what's he doing? And then all of a sudden he just does something you just don't see.
No.
Yeah.
It's almost harks back to, remember when we were losing in the cup match at QPR and he ends up putting Lewis Cook back in the back. And nobody saw that.
Yeah.
But he did.
Come back and win, yeah.
And I think yesterday was a case of, we were saying like Cook wasn't having a great game, Clivert wasn't having a particularly good game, but they both stayed on for the 90 minutes, like you pointed out.
Strange.
We were all going, get them off. Yeah. But Iraola was probably looking at it going, where can I utilise them better on the pitch to impact what I need to have, to change the dynamic of the game.
Do you feel as though he made the changes later than what he usually would, though? Because I thought he might be pulling players off at half time.
Also, maybe because we didn't concede, he didn't.
Or at least 60 minutes.
Yeah, it was a little bit. Was it 65-ish?
Yeah, it was just a bit late on. By that time, it felt like the game was. I mean, the way that Everton were growing into the game, it's almost like.
Yeah, it's a strange one. And like I say, I thought probably the 2 players that Steve just mentioned Cook and Cliver, probably the worst I've both seen both of them in a Bournemouth shirt.
And I think Cook said himself on Match Today.
Yeah, he even owned up to it.
And then he pops up with 11er and Clivert sets up the winner. I mean, you just couldn't write it. But yeah, clever things like that. Clivert's press was not there. He was awful. And he went, I'll move him out to the left because I got Dango on who's going to get. You look at it now and go, actually, yeah, because Dango's going to bomb on, then Clivert's naturally going to come. It kind of makes sense when you see it afterwards, but in the moment you're going, what? Why are they still on? And the only Steve said to me during the game, because Semenyo was having a stinker.
Yeah.
The only reason you get the Semenyo staying on is because he can do something out of nothing.
Yeah,
make something happen.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he did. And then I even think the amount of people that go, why would you change a centre half for a centre half? What's that going to do? Howson won everything when he come on. He said after, I wanted Howson to take the ball up the pitch a bit more, go down that left-hand side. I think they were targeting Coleman when he was retiring, and even things like that. So, you know, if we don't do that comeback, everyone goes, what do you think, Senesi off Howson? What's that going to do? Little things, and then because of that, and because of Dango bombing on, you got Smithy, because he's got that experience, to maybe tuck in, make it through when you need to, etc., etc. So, yeah, easy to look at it now. And I mean, the Evan Nilsson one, you take off your only striker. Your only striker,
and
take them
score
off,
3 goals.
and then you score 3.
Yeah.
And I do think a big part of it was Tarkovsky and Keane knew who their striker was, pin up against him, mark it.
Yeah.
Suddenly, every cross, because all of the goals were crosses, every cross, they weren't marking anyone because they were just getting runners onto them because there was no one pinned to them, was there? It's little tiny things that we can all see in hindsight, but Andoni can see it when we need him to.
Andoni
Exactly
can
that.
see it.
Yeah.
As you can see, we are at the Goods Yard in Broadstone. This is where we're doing our second looks from this season. Thanks to Esme, Amy and Co for putting us up and getting the drinks in. Really, mate, Ribena soda. I'm a professional. You know that. But yeah, make sure you pop here for superb drinks, great food as well. And look, even if you want to appear on a second look as well.
We get anyone in, apparently.
Anyone can get in.
Yeah.
Just walking by, I was.
Yeah, exactly. Look, we've seen the proper league table as well. Now we'll look at the graphic to show you how the team started to line up. And when I saw the team, mate, I was pretty happy with that. And you got 11 out of 11. It's one of the only times on a back of the net vlog where I forget to do team leagues.
I know. Because it's kind of
what's the point? It's in the vlog.
Yeah. What's the point, you know? Because just go and watch the preview. No, it's the first time I got Bournemouth right. I said in the preview, didn't I, for Everton that I'm going to take a bit of a gamble and not play Calvert-Lewin.
Why you did that, I don't know.
And then it was I put Ndea up front, but it was Calvert-Lewin played and Decore didn't, did he? Which ended up working quite well for him because I thought Ndea was brilliant. I didn't realise how good he is, like a little bit deeper as well. And I actually think majority of the game he was over to the left, and McNeil was kind of floating in that kind of tempo quite a lot, wasn't he? And McNeil was quite effective in that. But it was kind of as I was like,
more skillful than I thought he was.
Yeah, McNeil
I thought he was a proper striker, but he's
Ndea.
Yeah,
I thought he was very good. And I remember when Sheffield United lost him.
Yeah.
And they were like, this boy's going to be something special. So, and he was impressive, of course. And that's why so many of the Everton fans couldn't believe it when they took him off, because he was just carrying them up the pitch and, leaving a lot of that pressure. I think sometimes you think, I'll bring on a more defensive player. That'll sort it out.
I thought he caused Araujo a lot of problems.
Yes. Yeah. We were saying early, weren't we? I think he made one really good recovery tackle, but Araujo was finding it difficult against him, I felt. Yeah.
And also Brooks on the bench.
Yeah, that was a nice touch.
Yeah. He's back by the looks of it.
Yeah. Obviously been in. Don't know if it's still the back problem, but that obviously, I guess that kind of left the spot free and thought, Brooksy's back in training now, put him on there. But I doubt he was ever really thinking he was going to come on.
Making numbers up.
So the first half was pretty poor. It was a second half match, and we can see the attacking momentum there on screen that basically shows you where it's at. It makes it look more in favour of Everton than it felt like when I was watching. Yeah. So that this is formed of an algorithm of lots of different things. When you've got the ball, whose half you're in, that kind of thing.
I think you're right in the sense that they weren't very good either. But they were still better than us.
Oh, yeah.
They were still miles better.
I don't say miles better. I think that's quite an accurate graphic for the first half. Yeah. They had a spell, like it shows there, but I think we had a couple of spells where we were better.
Yeah, and we counted.
But you look at the second half, they were large portion of that. They were miles better than us.
And we did have kind of counter-attacking chances in the first half. We didn't make anything of it.
No.
But in the second half, it just felt like pure control from them. All I can really remember in the first half is Kemper kind of like sitting and holding one. Yeah. It was hit. Was it Ndea? Like kind of hit it straight at him and he just reacted.
Sat on it, didn't
he? Yeah. Apart from that, I can't
So, why were we so bad? I mean, I thought our press wasn't there at all. Our press wasn't there. They were winning nearly every duel, it felt like. Cook and Christie didn't have control of that midfield whatsoever.
No, but we pointed this out at the time. It's typical Dyche. sees what your strengths are, and then he goes and bypasses them, just plays long ball. Hitting the ball up to Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin, I thought, got the better of Zabani and Senesi in the air, and they're winning the knockdowns and building from there. And that kind of took Cook and Christie right out of the picture. Which... and
then we were both talking about, weren't we, that Kluivert also wasn't any.
Yeah, wasn't sitting in either.
He looked like a player that was just like...
Well, he wasn't stopping the supply.
No, exactly. It was too easy for like the defence to just knock out the Calvert-Lewin and go from there.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, it's a strange one because, as you say, like how Dyche would have, looked at how we play, but I know that we would have done the same. We would have been expecting that. For some reason, it just did. I think sometimes as well, you have one of them days where literally, we're not saying a few. I'd say every single player was bad. They were all bad.
They were.
Until the 85th minute. They were all bad. And that's very rare.
A little bit off it and can collectively, it just made it look pretty disjointed.
Yeah, if you get every single player below par, you're going to be a tough one, aren't you? Even against a team that are struggling. And then as soon as you give them that bit, that's probably what Dyche said at half time. Come on, look at this. We're not even playing that well yet, and Bournemouth done nothing. That gives them that little bit of hope, doesn't it? And a bit of belief, I guess. But
we were sloppy in our play as well, weren't we? We were sloppy in our play. We couldn't, 5 yards passes. I mean, we just weren't. It wasn't clicking. Nothing was really. No little patterns coming off. It just looked really poor all round. And like you said, Dyche must have seen that half time and go, look, they can't even string passes together. Come on, we've got these. And they came out second half and they were brilliant. I thought.
They were perfect for that second half until the 85th minute.
It feels like the Goodison Park crowd are either one extreme or the other, because if they score, the atmosphere ramps up and they just the whole vibe just seems to improve, and you can see that they obviously gave the Everton team a lot of energy. As soon as they go 1-0 down or there's a threat. And I've seen this in other games where they go 1-0 down, they're instantly on them, and they were like that.
It's just the first
even
goal.
When we went 2-1.
They were still going to win the game, long left. As soon as we scored, like you say, they were singing loads of songs and getting behind them, and obviously appreciative of how they were playing. As soon as we scored one, they almost like booed every touch. Weird.
But the thing is, they know they've got a history of this. This has been happening for years now.
True.
They know what their underbelly's like.
So it's almost like muscle memory kicking in for supporters.
And I do think that just seeing a bit from the Everton fans, they were...
Doesn't excuse it, Mike.
No, of course not. But they were more angry at how Dyche reacted to our scoring and how Dyche reacted to... Because at 2-0, he tried to protect the lead that didn't need protecting.
No.
Because they were in control. Why was he then going, he needs to protect it? There's no need. They were cruising. It was bizarre. And every single one of them, Decore, they lost so much energy when Decore come on. Calvert-Lewin to Beto was just an absolute joke. Beto can't control anything. And so I think they were a lot of it just from.
I think there's a lot of naivety within their play. I mean, you say about protecting a lead. They got 2-0 lead. They don't have to do anything. You just knock the ball around. But they were taking risks and chances when they didn't need to. Losing the ball, we were turning it over and breaking on them really hard. And that was when Iraola had made the changes. He'd got our more exciting, attacking, like Sinisterra and Dango would want to run at people. Semenyo got a bit of a buzz off that. He started to do it. Kluivert to a little extent. And Dango was doing it from left back. Driving through the midfield. I mean, it was brilliant. But they were giving us that opportunity, which I thought was a bit naive at that point.
Well, it all started spiralling when Keane scored, which is a Keane joke, by the way, because they do a track called Spiralling. Anyway, this is the goal, Tom. Talk me through it. Do you not know that track?
No.
Spiralling.
Okay. He could say
Tom,
anything, couldn't he?
I'll sing it like I sing you, Natalie Imbruglia, every now and then.
Oh, yeah, I do like that.
Fully appreciate
but yes,
you didn't tell me this was out there.
Yeah. But like you say, mate, obviously they take the lead here, but in the end, everything's changing. Anyway, someone who we know. Anyone anymore?
Bend and break, yeah.
I'm not going to get bed shaped then, am I? But it was a bloody good finish. For some reason, I didn't see this goal, Michael Keane.
You were just, I
was actually walking up.
Yeah.
So nearly saw it. But it was a good finish, to be fair. Is it Harrison that whips one in? It's a good ball, actually.
I think it's poor from us a little bit.
Yeah, who is it? He kind of, Senesi kind of gets dragged in, doesn't he?
Bit ball watching.
Yeah.
And no one sort of...
But yeah, Michael Keane, weird. He scored, was it last season? He scored a worldie?
Absolute worldie against somebody, I can't remember who it was. belted it from about 40 yards.
And I swear he's not very good with his feet. It's like a bomb
Senesi
stand set up. It's weird.
Yeah, like Senesi went in for a challenge when the ball was put in, and he's like holding his face after it, and then it just breaks, and then he
He went down a few times last year. I do wonder if he was carrying something. I mean,
possibly.
And he went off, obviously.
Yeah.
But at that point, the momentum just completely shifted. I was hoping for a response. You were sort of saying to me to G me up and to G everyone else up. I did say 1-1 for the first 3 games, and I'm thinking, oh, actually, that's probably about right. We'll get back into it.
I was gutted when Sinisterra scored. I thought I would have called 3 draws.
Oh yeah, of course. But you know what though, mate? Yeah. It really. They should have been 2-0 up before they were when, Coleman went through. And my God, whether the shot was going over or not, I don't know. Kepa got a touch, but it went over the bar. Yeah, he should have scored this. He came back onto his left foot.
Yeah, and then he's gone, most
over the bar. That's
that was literally on 70 million. You know what I mean? No, it was, he done really well, Coleman, didn't he? It's a bad finish. That's a fullback's finish for sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it probably was going in, but Kepa stuck an arm out, and that was.
He's got to do better there, though.
Yeah, he has.
He's got to do better. He's got to be putting that. He's got so much goal to aim at.
He's done so well.
He's done the hard work.
Yeah, but I think virtually every Everton fan probably would have wanted any other player, wouldn't they? Really, I can't remember Coleman scoring many goals. This is a good move, I think, but we make 2 bad kind of 50-50 challenges, don't we? Build up.
So this is Everton's second goal. So we're watching it. We're not obviously showing you what's going on, but we're just trying to talk you through what happens. And the ball sort of starts on the left-hand side. And there were a few unfortunate moments. It fell a few times where it deflected to almost like the Forest game, first game of the season. Like,
just like bobble,
your pinball going on.
Yeah. And it's a really clever part. And I'll tell you what, it's a hell of a finish, by the way. Yeah, really. Little dink, I love that. It's a really, really good finish. But yeah, it was drop it to them and you think, okay, it's their day and they've earned that. Whatever, game over, take me home.
And it could have been 3, I think, because they also had a header that clipped the outside of the post as well later on as well.
I think Kepa's got that covered.
Yeah.
Oh God, yes.
It's 70 million.
Not forgetting in the first half as well, like their fans thought they went 1-0 up because obviously that went to the side netting. So we were.
Can I make a point on that?
Yeah.
Why on earth is Lewis Cook? It just drives me mad. Lewis Cook. As much as, I know this looks stupid because he just scored a header to get us back in the game. But every corner, he was either Michael Calvert-Lewin or Michael Keane.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand it. And he kept getting beaten in the end. Well, Calvert-Lewin's nearly hit the side net. Michael Keane, I think, had another point. I don't get that sort of mindset. Yeah. Even Zaba's going to struggle against him.
Don't get me wrong, they're a bigger team all over, so on average, you're always going to have one that's probably, you know what I mean? They're going to, but there's got to be something better than Cook on their main aerial threat, surely. Yeah. It was strange. And and it wasn't, and when the first few corners come in and they were clearly winning the first ball, it's like, why are we still doing it?
Yeah, I know.
It was strange.
And
Crazy.
At this point, I don't know whether this would have been picked up anywhere else, but Ramsdale. We were singing about Ramsdale to Jordan Pickford, which should we be now?
Well, definitely not.
He's at Southampton.
He's a scammer.
But Pickford, did he give us the fingers?
Yes. Did he give us?
Was he saying 2-0?
Was he saying 2? That's one thing.
Clever, isn't it?
Give him the benefit. It's clever.
I'm sure.
That's what he would say.
He didn't mean any offence by it. It was just 2.
Or he was saying Ramsdale was number 2. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we beat by 1 goal.
Yeah.
But
and Aaron Ramsdale like 3. How that done work?
Yeah.
Do you see his firm? What's wrong with his wrist, old man?
Yeah. Crisp packet hands.
But look, we did start to get into it. Now, if we do refer back to the match timeline and stuff, there were some substitutions that were being made on 65 minutes. Sinisterra for Evan-Nilsson. We'll talk about Evan-Nilsson a bit later on to see what you thought of him. Also, Scott for Christie, Kirkes making way for Dangle Ouattara as well. Later on, Howson and Adam Smith come on as well. Now, is it me, right? Is it me? Lewis Cook played well after 77 minutes. As soon as he took that armband off, this is what we said about Lloyd Kelly, it's like a mental burden having that armband on.
No, that's bollocks.
No?
He's done it for England.
Yeah, he's bloody lifted the trophy for England. I think it was a really bad coincidence that you had a bad game.
Yeah, it was a system change.
Yes.
But he was doing even the basics.
Yeah, he was doing the basics wrong all game.
Yeah, which is really surprising for a player of his quality.
But yeah, Stephen was saying that it was weird. We've tried Scott doing the Christie role so many times, it doesn't work. And he almost, and I think this is why Andoni's so great. He kind of went, we're playing so bad, let's try something here. And he kind of had Scott, you refer to it as like that quarterback role, where he was kind of sitting deep and you're going, you can sprain passes, you can get us going.
Well, he's got a good delivery. He does the corners, doesn't he? So he can hit a diag.
Oh, definitely. And then Cook was kind of going, have a bit more of a licence, try and make the games. It was almost like it was going, it's not happening for you today, Cookie. Try and do something a bit different. Try and arrive late. See what you could do over that side, on that left side.
Just run around a lot and put yourself about.
See if you can connect with Dango on that left side now and see what happens. But Yeah, it was a masterclass.
So this is where Decore came on for the player that
Best
was
man pitch,
performing the best for them.
Yes.
And look, we spoke to fans on the fan cams, and a couple of them said exactly the same thing. Why did they take him off? Because he was the star man. I don't know if he maybe picked up a knock or something. That's all I can think of. But
Like
you know, why would have you? Because after that, everything changed.
It did, and yeah, Decore didn't do anything, and then and obviously we get the goal, and then shortly after that, it's Calvert-Lewin for Beto as well. So the subs, and you could tell when they made that sub, you heard it in the crowd. They weren't happy with that. So it was strange. It was strange. And I've already said that it's kind of that thing of trying to protect something that you're in full control of.
It's at 4:38 on the BBC website in their commentary. A much quieter day for Jordan Pickford, who was at fault in last week's defeat at Tottenham. The England keeper has not had a save to make.
That aged well.
This is how late. This is how late it all was, because Semenyo then turned up and did his
He still
thing,
didn't make any
but
saves.
We need to pay credit here to Daniel Ouattara.
My guy.
And you did on the vlog, and you said, I know nothing, my football knowledge is antiquated. And all
I agree with that.
Something like that.
That was in jest.
And, I mean, what a good move it was, and what a whipped ball into a danger area. He's good at that, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm genuinely, that's what, we obviously criticised, but I've criticised Dango a lot last season. I thought he was doing my head in last season. But listen, I've got Bournemouth to do well. I'm bloody buzzing for him. We've said it enough times in pre-season. I thought, he looks like he's got something extra at the moment.
Yeah.
And that, last season, I'm telling you now, that goes into the stand. That crop, he just slices that.
Well, what was he like at Goodison Park?
Yeah, he falls over it. Yeah, he falls over there, and there's something now where that's the perfect.
But he's had a season with us. He's bedded in. He's got a bit of chemistry going with the team. He's obviously improved his game himself.
Yeah, and I think little things like him now having to.
That's a great ball.
It's unbelievable.
That's a really good ball.
And he's obviously in training how to work out, because he was virtually a right winger. You've got Andoni's gone right. See if you can do a job as a wing back, and he's had to probably adapt different bits. But honestly,
he's been willing in everything he's been asked to do.
Yeah,
and that's what I think is great for the team.
Definitely, and just so delighted to see him do well. I just hope something bounces off him and goes in and don't get disallowed soon. But it was amazing. And he with the other one completely changed the football match.
Sinistera came on, of course, as we know, and he was pivotal in the equaliser, which was 92 minutes or so. And you know what, right? Lewis Cook's run reminds me of Stephen Purchase in the playoff final.
Yeah.
The way, because there's an angle where it shoots this whole run, and he runs, I don't know, about 70 yards to get into the place where he got. And it's the player that you least expect to be bombing. It's the kind of run that like Phil Billing would make.
Yeah, maybe.
Sort of, like a late run to the box.
Two sort of strides.
Yeah.
Take him a week.
He probably does it in 3.
But yeah, it's a proper old school, like Frank Lampard, kind of box-to-box player, right? It's perfect.
But he doesn't break stride at all. It's perfect. Look,
and it's sat up so nicely from Sinistera.
Perfect.
So he doesn't need to be, you think he's a small little guy.
It doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter, because he's just perfect for him.
It's just...
And what I thought, obviously I'm getting carried away in the celebrations, but I'm getting involved, but I'm also looking at what's happening, and he runs past us.
And he's doing this.
And now I thought he was geeing the crowd up like that.
No, he's
but
doing
he wasn't. It was because he scored
I think
a
it's the
headed goal.
irony of it.
Is that maybe his first headed goal?
He did also
or
say it is his first headed goal of his career, but he did also say afterwards that it was something to do with his son. It was for his son or something. He mentioned it in his interview. I don't know. But but Andoni said it a lot, and it was really, really important. I felt that we were all for all game. We scored that second goal, and there's no one else for Lewis Cook because we're getting the ball back. We've smelled we can win this now.
Yeah.
And that is, Andoni said it plenty of times. He said that's because we've got the experience of it now.
Yeah.
We saw it with Luton last season when we were throwing it down for God's sake.
That wasn't a little nod to you boys. It's like, I've got one now. I've scored a goal.
Well, I was about to say, speaking of the targets that we set, Justin Cliver...
You ticked a few off yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Seriously, like,
they're watching.
Did these boys listen?
So, what was the one? Yeah, Cliver getting into the Dutch squad. Obviously, Lewis Cook scored a goal. I also said, Cinny, make me get my Columbia shirt back out. Tell you what, go on mine in that bad boy. But yeah, it was, I think that was a pivotal moment in the sense that we've done it before and they smelt it because instantly they're getting the ball back and they're ready.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of teams, even though you think surely there's only one team going to win it, we've been so bad, let's just get out of it, a point, I would have taken it. But the players on the pitch smelt it. And I think Everton obviously did as well. And yeah, But I still thought there's no chance. But we need to score before we score the winner.
Yeah, we have a load of chances.
Loads of chances, yeah.
Was it a header from Tavernier?
Yeah.
He should have done better. He almost hit his shoulder.
Yeah, it came off both the side of his face and his shoulder, didn't
and
it?
then Pickford kind of parried one, didn't he?
Yeah, Semenyo had a shot from distance as well.
He controlled that really well, and it was bouncing up here.
Semenyo as well. Awful all game. Then he looked like a man possessed. And Tiggs
System
mentioned it.
change.
But is that because of that incident that got him
That's what
booked?
Tiggs said. There was a moment where he
riled him up.
Yeah, and then just after that, he ran back and won the ball back, like in the right back spot. Yeah, he just looked like he got the bit between his teeth a little bit. But yeah, it's little moments in games that Scott Parker was saying, just them fine margins, mate. Little moments.
Limbs, right? How Limsy Lohan was was Lewis Cook's equaliser for you, because there were people falling over in front of me, someone on the floor, people everywhere.
What's that?
That can't be topped.
What's the job called when you? I say job. You have like a little puppet and they have it. What's it called?
Punch and Judy?
No.
Puppeteer.
No, what's it called? And they pretend they talk.
A ventriloquist.
That's it, ventriloquist. Steve was like a ventriloquist, because I was falling and Steve was just doing this, holding me up from falling over.
I think I had about 3 people at one point. It was like trying to keep it.
Yeah, it was funny, but yeah, I managed to stay up, mate. And do you know I've had 3 texts today, 3 separate texts from people that have obviously watched the vlog, and they've all said, because I said, oh yeah, like they said, enjoy the vlog. I said, I can't believe your top stayed on. They're all just shocked that I didn't take the top off.
It's because such an Adonis of a body underneath, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
My nipples hair it, mate.
So yeah, like you say, we did chuck the kitchen sink at them, but never did I think it was actually going to happen. But alas, it really did, mate, and it happened in the most dramatic way, and it was really good work from who was it? Was it Tavernier that started on the opposite flank?
He took Malenka.
And he was holding off his marker, and then he sprayed this ball through to
another one, by the way.
Kluivert.
Quickly say that obviously everyone was having a bad game. Tav was one of them. He was like a sub, because in that last 5, he just suddenly took the game and took the ball and started beating people, which he wasn't doing all game. And he done really well. And then literally one of the worst players on the pitch, Kluivert, puts in an unbelievable ball. And I said to you after, he always comes off about an hour into the game when he's having a stormer.
Yeah.
Almost as like a reward, like have your breather. And it was almost like, you've been that bad, I ain't letting you have a break. Crazy how you're still on the pitch, but what a ball, by the way.
Yeah.
And the more I see it, the more I think he has literally picked them out to perfection.
But if you are Sean Dyche, I mean, Sean Dyche will be thinking, how is a Sean Dyche side conceding 2 headers?
I was about to say he'd probably be losing his voice.
Because that there, I mean, that is criminal defending.
Well, I think it harks back to what Tom said, doesn't it? It's like they didn't know who to mark.
No, because there isn't.
They've got runners everywhere. Tav's taken Mikalenko right across the pitch. He's left. They've got no fullback there. Yeah. And Sinny's just gone in behind the 2 centre-backs.
And Pickford is in no
and this ball is superb. He's literally... Yeah, he's come, he's realised halfway there he ain't getting that. Oh, Sinny's won it, bullet header, and we've all gone absolutely mental.
How is Sinny good in the air?
Q2000 people standing up immediately behind to go. Yeah, but I mean, obviously... Q2000 people at our end just going absolutely crazy, limbs everywhere, bodies
literally
everywhere.
People flying everywhere.
There was a guy that was 4 rows behind us who ended up in our row.
I see Neil, I'm sure Neil's watching, with his top on. He was in the other block.
And then we all go mental and just turn around, Neil's there, like next to me. I was
nothing better, is there?
But Tom, through all the elation, on the way back, you had a serious moment. You said, you know what, Sam? I'm a bit annoyed. Like, why? I'm annoyed that the players went to the other side of the ground to celebrate.
I hate that. Because do you remember, saw one for Steve because he was ill and didn't make it, but do you remember Blackpool way?
Yeah.
In Park.
Bring it up, didn't you?
Dembele scored last kick of the game. Yeah. And he went over that side. I think it was it Leif Davis and Nat Phillips that come over? Yeah. But I want the team all... Watara was Tottenham was over in that call. Yeah. I want them to be with us, but made up for it at the end. It was really nice season at the end when we were singing the Semenyo song. They're all dancing and loving it. So yeah, good fun.
Mark Jackson on Match of the Day twice.
Yeah, you need to
and a shout to Richard for not doing his shoulder again.
How? I just assured. I didn't even text Richard after I went.
We just thought he's in hospital. Yeah.
He's probably out for a few months, but you go again. But yeah, Mark, I just think he needs to tone it in a bit with the away fans. You see him giving it the fingers.
Oh no, he's a father now. That's not example.
It's just not on, mate. You've got to have a bit of respect.
Catch me doing sort of thing.
Just like you.
I never focus on the home fans when it's risky.
No, of course not, mate. Absolutely not.
Everton.
It's quite interesting, actually. If you watch the world feed, then you can see visibly Lewis Cook mouthing to Antoine Semenyo, "You are a star. You are a star," and then he goes and gives him a hug. I mean, he really was. He really was so good in that final 10.
10 million quid, wasn't he?
But you know what? Does that not, like, as a Bournemouth fan, that must just give you a bit of hope that no matter how crap we are, no matter how, there's a chance.
I know what you mean. It feels like a lot of the time, if we're slightly off our levels, we just lose.
Yeah.
So to find a way is a big point, I think, because it will mean that in any game when we're not quite at it, there should still be that belief of
there's a chance.
You get a goal, lads. We've got some players and we can get back into it. So yeah, it's definitely a positive. But equally, what I liked was, we've said it before, but Andoni kind of, acknowledging the fact that we were bad is a good thing as well, because he'll go, that one on, you got away with it.
Yeah.
We need to work on some bits, but
that ain't going to happen every week, is it? If we're that poor for 85 minutes. I mean, we've got away with one yesterday, but he's that kind of manager who would risk it. There's no point, we're going to lose the game anyway. Yeah. So let's just have a go, see if we can maybe blag a draw, and as it turned out, we've got to win for our troubles.
I think every, not the same, but you think of, what was the first game? Forest, crossing the box, Semenyo. Yeah. Newcastle was a cross back and Tavernier. Yesterday were every goal we scored is a cross. Every goal's a cross. He's telling him to put it in early, and that's why you said about mentioning him at some point. That's why I think once he gets adapted, Evan Olsen will score goals. He's just got to be in them areas. We're putting balls in the box.
Yeah. So what do you think?
He had a bad game. He's in the 2 games I thought we've got a player here. We're fine. He's going to be fine. He struggled.
Yeah.
It doesn't help because he wasn't getting the right service. And the fact that Kluivert was so bad didn't help him. But you still got to point out the fact that there's a few times where he got it and he didn't kind of keep the ball for us as well as he has
it's not quite coming off, and obviously he's adapting to the speed of the Premier League and the physicality of it all. I mean, he was up against 2 proper full centre-backs like yesterday, but I do like his running off the ball. I think he runs the channel, he's got a good engine on him. There was even a point where he was coming back to right back to just help out after a corner. So he's obviously got, good work rate, and he knows that if he's making runs and we're picking him out with little balls over the top, that I'm happy with that, because he's then holding the ball up, bringing other players into the game, which is good. We've got loads of attacking players, Kluivert, Semenyo, all the rest of it. It's not all about him, remember. This is Andoni's ball, and it's everybody's involved.
Yeah. And that should take a bit of...
He will get his chances, and he will score. I think, what was the game before that, where he should have really scored?
Yeah.
He had a couple of chances. Was it Newcastle?
He hit the one that Pope saved, and then he slid on one,
I mean, on another day, those go in.
Yeah, exactly.
One of them goes in.
And I think that he's... What should help as well is that responsibility shouldn't be on it. We're showing that we can score without him scoring yet.
Exactly.
Semenyo's pictured in City seems like it always pictured.
We haven't bought him and going, you're our only hope.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think it almost weirdly, because he's not in the Brazil squad this time, might help him being around the place for, got a couple of weeks to the next game. And I think that's a good point. He's making the runs, and you got to remember, we're not used to them runs as much, we're used to the Don runs, and it's all very specific. So we'll have to learn how to play with him as well. And I think it'll be fine, but he had his weakest one out of the game so far. But it's not like the other. I saw, Jefferson was on the bench for Watford, he lost, and Watford haven't been losing. Right. Kiefer Moore missed a penalty. So it's not like Del Solanke's injured. So it's not like the others are ripping it up, mate. But quickly, just thinking about ex-players, big shout out, Kilkenny got his move and scored on his debut.
Yes, really he did. Yeah, very well done.
Well, Gav.
Yeah. Some Bournemouth fans left early.
I know, that's not ideal, is it?
I think Andy Jennings called out one of his buddies, and there were others that just had enough. Justin Loader was one of them. There are others that as well.
Dan.
Never do it.
I know. It's probably, don't get me wrong, for some reason I didn't drive, but if you were driving, it's the first time I thought I kind of got it. It was that bad. If you want to get out 5 minutes early and miss it, it's not for me, but we were that bad. I'm almost like, but then surely you don't leave early enough to not hear that Semenyo scored. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know there's a few people that said they were thinking about it, and then Semenyo scored and they went, hang on.
Yeah,
lucky, but I mean, if you ever want to learn not to leave early, ask James Hayter's parents.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, very true. Very true. Just a word for Everton fans that appeared on the fan cams in the heat of the moment.
They were great, to be fair.
They were so gracious.
Yeah, they were.
They could have been, but then that's because, like you said, it's muscle memory. Like we've had this before.
They're probably used to doing it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, you wouldn't be as gracious, I'm guessing.
What are you saying?
You would not be as
P's
gracious.
and Q's, this boy.
Yeah. You lost your shit after that that Arsenal, what was it, 3-0, whatever it was?
Talking about it. Yeah, no, they were though. The ones that come on were brilliant, weren't they? And I think, you know, like Steve said, like you said, it's that, oh, here we go again. I saw a few people on podcasts and stuff saying that, what more can I say about Everton?
But Sean Dyche is getting a bit of stick, obviously, for his...
Changes, which I do appreciate. And they were saying they can't believe we're playing so well and then just revert back to negative when everything was going perfectly. And I do agree. Obviously, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but don't change if it ain't broken, because we were not in that game.
No. Social media was a great place to be on the way back. Everyone on their phones scrolling. Some Everton lad saying, can we play these every week? It's had like over 2 million views on X, that tweet.
It'd be easy to go to him, yeah, if you want, mate. Like, if you want,
we'll just play the last 10 minutes, though.
Yeah, but the problem is, I don't think we're going to be in the Championship with you, mate.
And also, Ben did his celebratory video.
Stop getting your phone out of games.
Yeah, don't stop capturing life.
Enjoying the moment.
And that's doing crazy numbers, over 1 million views in just a few hours.
Wow.
He talked about it on Talk Sport. He's been on Radio Solent on the Totally Football podcast with James Richardson as well. Check that out as well. But that's doing crazy numbers as well. Oh my God, what a weekend! Now, thoughts on Kepa?
Oh, that's got to be about it. No, he didn't do anything wrong for the goals.
Did you feel as though he dominated his box? I didn't. At time in the first half,
I thought he was very quick off his line.
Yeah.
I think the only thing he could really, because he couldn't do anything about the goals. I don't think there was any world-class saves.
Yeah. Weren't his fault.
They weren't. And then I thought he did look a bit more assured with his feet, I feel. Yeah. But listen, I'm not going to come out. I'm only joking. I'm not going to come out and say he was.
It's one game.
It's one game.
Yeah.
And
we were poor.
And we were shocking. But yeah, I'm happy that he's in, mate. And got his first game under his belt.
And yeah, for Aaron Ramsdale, not such a good start for him.
Yeah, I'm not joking.
Southampton. But you can see why he needs regular football, doesn't he? Yeah. Just a shame it had to be.
That's right. When he fancies playing, they got the old wee man, haven't they? That'll sort him out. That'll keep him up.
Yeah, of course it will. Of course it will. But that for me is up there as one of the best. And I still haven't felt as though I've absorbed as much as I need to in terms of like vlogs and it's good that we got 2 weeks to do it now. It is. So
football's just mad now. I think we said in the service station on the way back, I said to you, like, literally, I mean, it's obviously really far going to Everton from where we are. Cheers, Steve, for driving.
Thanks, mate.
And then probably one of the worst football matches I've ever seen for 85 minutes. And then I'm actually because all of that travelling the whole day, all the money and stuff, 5 minutes made it all worth it.
Yeah.
But
crazy football.
In many ways, I mean, I said this to you in the car as well, like, in many ways, it's the perfect thing for Iraola because, you know, he needs to know his team's weaknesses. He watched 86 minutes of crap.
There's a lot of analysis there.
So, yeah, there's a lot, but he's come away with 3 points. And with an international break, had we lost that, with only 2 points on the table, with the match, Chelsea, Liverpool around the corner, that's an important win. Yeah, hugely important.
Definitely. And I think, listen, I know it's not Everton's fault, but from our perspective, you think of the last few games, West Ham and Newcastle in particular. Boy, have we had a bit of bloody luck. Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think a lot of people that watched the Newcastle game on the telly and obviously couldn't believe the Tango decision. Yeah. The goal that was disallowed. They will be seeing that Bournemouth comeback and go, God, they earned that because of the Dango decision, how we were absolutely robbed. So yes, there was a bit of a burglary from us in some aspects, but character, and as I said at the start, it's not an accident. We keep winning this bloody award and we've won it again.
Already?
We've won it.
Absolutely.
3 weeks in.
We've won it.
If you're listening on the audio
Is your passport up to date?
Yes, mate. Yeah, it is.
No, just sorry, carry on.
Yeah, I better check mine actually. If you're listening on the audio pod, you could do us a massive favour by leaving us a review. 5 stars would be lovely. But also, if you're watching on YouTube, Tom, what can they do? What was it again?
Click the old big fat like button. Click subscribe and the little belly thing, because that'll tell you when all the videos are out and stuff like that. And if you're obviously a lot of nice Everton fans in the comments, by the way, like you said, very, very gracious. So really appreciate that. And a lot of fans that have said, I think there was some West Ham fans that now started following it. It's really nice. So yeah, keep it up.
And look, when you do your comments on YouTube, if you have appreciated Steve's input here, maybe just like say what you want to say, but maybe leave an emoji, like, I don't know, a tree or something.
Yeah, just random. Yeah, just something random, like a tree.
Something random that Morgan Scott doesn't go on about all the time.
Yeah. And I don't know what the relevance is.
And then I reckon, if you know what I'm talking about, if you hashtag BTO, the baseline tracker out. If you never want to see the baseline tracker again, do that as well.
Yeah.
I'm doing that.
Yeah,
There you
100%.
go. So look, it's been a pleasure talking about it. Steve, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
Love it. Love it.
I just feel like it should be a steering wheel here.
Yeah. Tom, as ever, it's been great.
Yeah, let's go play some footy, mate.
Yeah.
Up the Cherries, and we'll see you in the next one.
Oh, cheers.
Up the Cherries.
Cheers.
Always love that guy.